For this project, I used the Rewind tape yarn from Line Brand Yarns. This hat that I've crocheted is the adult medium, and for that I used the Hawaiian Ocean. I'm going to show you how to crochet the adult small or teen size for this hat today. So you're going to need your 5mm hook, and you're going to need one ball of the Rewind tape yarn from Line Brand Yarns. I'm using the citronella. Wrap the yarn twice, pinch those loops, and then I use another finger to hold this one. Slide the hook underneath and pick this loop up, chain one, and now I pinch here and get ready to crochet. We're going to do the extended single crochet, so insert the hook into the loops, yarn over to pull up a loop, chain one, yarn over and pull through the other 2 loops to make your single crochet. We're going to make 6 of these. So your chain one and pull through the other 2 loops. Chain one, pull through the other 2 loops. One, two, three, four, 5. Chain one, pull through the other 2 loops. So now you have 6. We're going to close this ring. You have your 2 loops here. So pull this yarn tail and see how this loop is moving this way into the work. I'll show you again. See how it moves that way? Pull the opposite end. That'll close the first ring. And now pull this yarn tail to close the other ring. And it makes it nice and snug. We still weave this in at the end, but for now, that's all you need to do for the top of the hat. And for this project, we're working in continuous rounds, which means that I'm not slip stitching to join or chaining one. So we're going to go right under this first stitch, under both loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, chain one, pull through the other 2 loops. That's your first single crochet, or extended single crochet, sorry. Place your stitch marker, whatever kind you're using, in that first stitch. And for this round, we're working 2 into every one of the stitches we made in the first round. So insert that into the same stitch again, yarn over and pull up a loop, chain one, yarn over, pull through the other 2 loops. That was your first one. Now find your second stitch and do the same thing again. Make 2 extended single crochet stitches. See how it's looking? Now at the end of the round, and you know you're there because you placed this in your first stitch, you should have 12 stitches. Okay, for the next round, we're going to work 2 extended single crochet stitches in the first stitch, and then 1 extended single crochet in the second stitch, and we're going to do this all the way around. We'll be increasing by 6 more stitches for this round. So make your first extended single crochet, put that stitch marker back in, and make 1 more in that same stitch. Now make your next one only 1 extended single crochet. Now make 2 extended single crochets in the next stitch, and 1 in the next stitch. And continue this all the way around to the stitch marker. So making 2 and then 1. At the end of round 3, you'll have 18 extended single crochet stitches. For round 4, remove your stitch marker, and we're going to put 2 extended single crochets in the first stitch, and then 1 extended single crochet, 1 extended single crochet. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. So the first one we have 2. Remember to put your stitch marker back in. The next one we're going to have 1. The next one will have 1. And now we do the repeat. So it's 2 extended single crochets, and then 1 extended single crochet, 1 extended single crochet. So repeat that all the way around, working 2, 1, and 1. At the end of this round, you'll have 30 extended single crochet stitches, so double check that you have your 30. And for the next round, we're going to put 2 extended single crochets in the first stitch, and then 1 extended single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. And then repeat that, making 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, and 1. After round 6, you'll have 36 stitches. So make sure you double count that you have your 36 stitches. And for round 7, we're going to be working 2 in the first stitch and 1 in each of the next 5 stitches. So make your first 2, Replace your stitch marker. Now make 1 extended single crochet in each of the next 5. So 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. And repeat that, so make 2 extended single crochets in the next stitch. So you have 1, 2, and then make 1 in each of the next 5. 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. Make sure I have enough there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. 2 in the next. And 1 in each of the next 5. And after round 7 is complete, you have 42 stitches. So double check your stitch count for the round, because each stitch will add size to your hat. So you don't want to have even 1 extra stitch, or the hat will be too large for the head you're making it for. They add up. So for this project, we're getting 3 stitches in an inch. Okay, so for this project, we're getting 3 stitches for every inch. So if you had 3 extra stitches in your hat, you're going to have a full inch of extra circumference for around the head of the hat. So it's important that you count your stitches. Okay, for round 8, we're going to work 2 in the next stitch, 2 extended single crochets in the next stitch. And then 1 in each of the next 6 stitches. So 1, 1, 1, 'kay, so you have 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you repeat that all the way around the hat. So we're going to make 2 in the next one, and then 1 in each of the next 6. After round 8, you'll have 48 stitches. For round 9, we're going to make 2 extended single crochets in the first stitch, replace our stitch marker, and now we're going to make 1 extended single crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. So 1 in each of the next 7. So that's the first one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 2 in the next. And 1 in each of the next 7. After round 9, you'll have 54 extended single crochet stitches. For round 10, we're going to work 2 extended single crochets into the first stitch, and then 1 extended single crochet into each of the next 8 stitches. Remember to replace your stitch marker. So 2 into the first stitch and 1 into each of the next 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Repeat that, 2 in the first and 1 in each of the next 8, all the way around the hat. All right, so after round 10, you have 60 stitches in total around the hat. This will give you a hat that is 20 inches around. That's 60 divided by 3 stitches per inch. So when we're done, for this hat, the yellow one, this will measure 20 all the way around. So what we need to do now is you need to work rounds even, which means you make 1 stitch in every stitch around, and you keep doing that for a certain number of rounds, and that'll build up the height of the hat so that it's the height you want before you put on your brim. So what you need to do next is work 1 extended single crochet stitch in each stitch around. We worked from round 11 to round 20 even, which means we worked 1 extended single crochet into each stitch around. After you have completed round 20, we'll start the hat brim. For the hat brim, we'll be working in the front loop only of each stitch around. We'll start with making 2 single crochets in the front loop of the first stitch. Replace your stitch marker. Now work 1 single crochet in the front loop of the next 2 stitches. And then we'll repeat that all the way around. So we're going to work 2 single crochets in the front loop of the next stitch, and 1 single crochet in the front loop of the next 2 stitches. And 1, 1, 2. We repeat this all the way around the hat until we reach the stitch marker, working 2, 1, and 1. And we only work in the front loop. So what'll happen is you'll see the back loop will still be back here unworked. So this is only in the front loop. It makes it pop slightly forward for the brim. So continue all the way around to your stitch marker, and then we'll start the next round. At the end of round 21, you will have 80 single crochet stitches. For round 22 and round 23, we're going to work 1 single crochet in the front loop of each of the stitches around. So 2 rounds worked even, still under the front loop only. For round 24, we're going to work 2 single crochets in the front loop of the first stitch. Replace your stitch marker and work 1 single crochet in the front loop of each of the next 3 stitches. We'll repeat this all the way around the hat back to the stitch marker. So working 2 in the next stitch in the front loop only, and 1 in each of the next 3 in the front loop only. After round 24, you will have 100 single crochet stitches. For round 25, 26, and 27, we work 1 single crochet in the front loop of each stitch around. So that's 3 rounds worked even. Place your stitch marker and work 1 single crochet in the front loop of each stitch all the way around. And we do this for 3 rounds in total. And I will meet you back here for round 28. If you'd like your brim to be longer this way, so a wider brim, you can work 2 more rounds of single crochet in the front loop only before completing the final round, which I'm going to show you next. We're going to work 1 slip stitch into each stitch around. We're not going to make these tightly. We're going to make them to be the same size as the single crochets that we just worked. So try to keep the stitch size the same. So work 1 slip stitch into each stitch around. We're working under both loops. Try to make your stitches the same size as the single crochet stitches beneath. So 1 slip stitch in each stitch around. Let your hook control the size of the stitch. Try not to pull it to tighten it. So keep working all the way around to the stitch marker, and I'll show you how to make a tidy finish for the slip stitch. For my taller stitches, I usually use an invisible join method, which is my favorite way to finish a project. But for a slip stitch, there's a different method that I want to show you that works equally as well and is much easier to do. So I'll meet you back here when I reach my stitch marker. At the end of round 28, after you've made 1 slip stitch in each stitch around, you'll see that your final edge is a little bit thicker and the slip stitch has made it stronger, so it will hold up well to being pulled on and off. You can roll up your brim if you want. If you don't want it down all the way on any of the sides, the fabric is dense enough to hold basically into any shape that you want it to be for the brim. So you could have a complete rolled brim, or you can have it all the way down, or you can flip up the back or the front, depending on what the weather's like. Now, to show you how to finish this off, I'm going to remove my stitch marker, pull this loop up, okay, the final loop that's on your hook, pull it up straight. Now insert your hook under both loops of the first slip stitch in the round that you made, the one that we just took the stitch marker out of. Now you're going to grab this loop and pull that to tighten it, and you're going to pull it through that slip stitch so that it's at the back of the work. You can see a little bit of a bump right there for right now. You can pull that to tighten. I recommend you chain 1 to finish off. cut some of this here so you have a tail to weave in. Pull that all the way through. Now tighten that on the inside. Wiggle those stitches a tiny bit. It'll help hide where you finished. Okay, right in here. And now we're going to weave in our end. So thread the end onto your yarn needle. I use a blunt-ended needle for weaving in. I tend to stab myself with sharp needles. So yes, this is what we're using today. And then we're going to weave it in on the inside of the hat. Try to catch the inside loops only and not go through the yarn like I am here, because that'll weaken it. Okay, there we go for the first one. Now try to find one close by. We're gonna try this one here, like that. Now try going in a different direction. Let's see here, I'm gonna go under this one. That's good. Go in the opposite direction. Trim that. You can block this using a hat block if you have one and you want to. I tend to just wear my hats as they're finished. The only blip in the hat you'll see is here on the band, and with wear this will stretch to become more uniform. And you finished your adult small size hat. And then you can take a look. This is the adult medium. So it's only just a tiny bit bigger than your adult small size. I've written the everyday bucket hat crochet pattern in multiple sizes, and they're all available on my website, mbakadesignCrochet.com. They are free, and you can use the PDF button at the top of the post to print it, save a copy or a PDF, or you can buy a professional PDF from my Ravelry shop if you prefer. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or contact me on my website, okay? Thanks so much. Have a great day.